Hey! Hey everyone, my name is Jønathan. Welcome to my channel. The vibe is pretty boring, as you can see. I definitely need more decorations. I kind of wanted to introduce a little bit about my life, and also tell my story. I have other videos with me singing or me posting other content out there, but I never really actually talked to tell people, hey, this is who I am, you know. I was born and raised in Miami, Florida. I grew up in a Jamaican Christian kind of household. That was pretty much my vibe. That was pretty much every single day. I would go to church every week, sometimes twice a week, and then later in life, I eventually stopped going to church. I went back to church in my teenage years, so it kind of ruled a lot of my life. In between that, I did always feel like it was a thing that I kind of never signed up for. It was kind of a thing that I just was thrown into and never really believed deeply in my faith or anything like that, which later in life now I realized a lot of religious trauma that I didn't realize when I was younger. I always questioned whether or not a God is real, whether or not a deity is out there that is, you know, all-knowing, all-powerful, all-loving, like it says in the Bible or whatever. One of the things I was also discovering, but not really knowledgeable about in a way, was my sexuality. I didn't know what it was being gay when I was obviously 4 or 5 or 6 or anything, but I just knew I developed attractions to men. It kind of made me confused in a way. Middle school came along and I still was developing these same things over and over, and obviously it's very taboo in my family to be open about it, to be gay, queer. My dad was pretty open about his views against it. My mom, same thing, pretty much, both of them. I remember vividly being in the car, we were riding. I forgot where we were going. We were going to a restaurant or whatever, and he just randomly said, because gay marriage was being legalized in 2015, and he randomly threw a rant about it and was angry about it and whatever. Yeah, that was kind of my life, still my life now, unfortunately. I came out in multiple different times. So I came out to my first high school. There was a high school friend that I would talk to all the time around that time period. She was the first person I came out to, named Daniela, and I was around 18. I was still in church when I came out, and then I came out again when I was 21 to other people, and I was still in church. I wasn't allowed to be gay in church, very homophobic church, and it was just sucky. It was really, really bad. There was plenty of church members who would even go as far as using the F slur, and just openly not really caring, and they would make an excuse oh yeah, this is something I did in the world. I would call gay people the F slur, and just that. They were openly against even dressing. You have to dress a certain way. You can't obviously, if you're a guy, you can't wear makeup. You can't wear nails or anything like that. You can't even some clothes I was wearing, if my jeans were too tight, they would have a problem with that sometimes. it was just, ugh, it was just bad. Someone like me, by the way, this church, now this is a different church than when I grew up when I was a kid. This was more like when I was a teenager. So this was like 15 to me being 22 pretty much. And it's just so like, it's not only the church itself, it's like this is all I know almost. Between 15 and 22 is like when you kind of figure out who you are in the world. So it's like, this is who I am in the world. And it wasn't who I was in the world. It wasn't at all. And I just hated it. This was, I think, when I was 20 years old. I was either 20 years old or 21 years old. And pretty much there was a church member. He got a hold of like one of my TikToks that I made like privately for myself to kind of like express my sexuality and not feel public shame for it. I just kind of like made a TikTok and he got a hold of it somehow and pretty much he pretty much shared it to everyone in church, outed me to the whole church, and it just, I mean, now I'm over it, but around that time period I was like, I just hated my freaking life. Like, I fucking hated my life. And I really was just scared, lonely, and I didn't know what to do. I just was like, alright, well, the only people I know is the church. So let's stay in the church. And this church, by the way, we were like very like strict on like everything almost. Like, it was one of those churches where we had to like be at meetings. We called them meetings of the body. So we had like to be at church service on Sunday. You had like a short like Bible discussion group. That would be at one point of the week. You had another meeting on Wednesday, or every other Wednesday. Not every Wednesday, but every other Wednesday. And then for me personally, I had also a meeting on Friday. So my whole schedule is pretty much just church. That's the schedule, is you're at church, bitch. So it's like, I didn't have the time to really work out any other, you know, things about me. Like, this is another thing about you besides just Jesus. Like, you're also this, you're also that. Like, these are the awesome things about who Jønathan is. I never got that opportunity. And so when I was outed and people saw the other part of me, I'm like, I don't know how I can like just come out and just leave this whole thing. It may sound like confusing, and it probably is still confusing. I eventually left the church and also left where I lived. So I left Miami, moved to Tampa around 2023 to live with my parents, just so I can have like some form of stability. And it wasn't great when I moved here. It was not great. I eventually like fully came out actually at a pride parade. Yeah, it just led to a lot of like tension with my parents. I would wear makeup. They literally sat me down, had like conversations about me wearing makeup, had conversations about me doing my nails. They had issues with me, you know, doing eyeliner, anything I couldn't do. They had a problem with it. I remember I wore like a dress or whatever. They had a problem with it. And it was getting to a point where I just really didn't like who I was. I could go anywhere. Like, I couldn't go to church. I can't go to my parents. All of my friends are not there anymore. So it's just like I didn't know what to do. I pretty much tried ignoring my parents for the most part. And there was a day my dad and I had like the biggest fucking argument ever. Kicked me out because of it. He said that me wearing makeup is just as bad as me doing drugs. He said, transgender people. They're like a pandemic. The good old conservative talking points, right? Obviously, I'm still here, so I didn't get kicked out of my house yet. And my dad's been always like that, kind of, so it's before I was gay, unfortunately. Fast forward a little bit longer, I had like a very downward spiral from that, and from just trying to adapt to like my new life and start over pretty much. I couldn't handle it. It led to me being suicidal, and unfortunately I was able to get some therapy, and then my therapist, he gave me like the best lesson I guess I could have gotten around that time was, pretty much if your family doesn't accept you, then just find another family. That's the most I can do, is just find another family. I can't, continually fight for people or fight to be accepted by people. That I can't continually ask for things that, I'm constantly begging for things that I shouldn't be asking for. And that's really what it boiled down to, is I'm over here begging to be accepted in a family that never accepted me, and it's I shouldn't be. I shouldn't be begging for that. So eventually I came to that conclusion. Still live with my parents, but I just didn't let that bother me and just say, alright, my parents are the way they are, I'm the way that I am, and that's how it's gonna be. I was thinking maybe one of my brothers would be okay with it. No, turns out he's a huge Trump supporter. Other brother, a huge Trump supporter, and fuck me, man. It's just I can't get over it. Yeah, and that's a little bit about my story with just religious trauma in my life and homophobia in my life that I do want to say, as a black queer person, I know there's so many other black queer people in the world just like me that can use help and can use a safe space, or can use just some form of escapism even. I don't know where would I be if I didn't have certain content creators that, to be honest, were more like my parents than my own parents in a lot of ways. I guess that's why I wanted to make this channel, is to show just to advocate for black queer leftist content that I don't really see too often in the political space, and also the social space, I guess. There's a lot of black leftists out there that I love, but not openly queer ones that I feel could make I don't know. I just thought it would be cool to make some content like that. But yeah, that's my video today. I'm gonna be posting a lot more, and you guys are gonna see me a lot more. So yeah, I really hope you guys like this. Also, just spread love, guys, please, and also be vocal about the issues in the fucking world. There are so many, and I really would love to see just all content creators somehow, some way. They don't have to, not everyone needs to be the next, Malcolm X, not everyone needs to be the next Rosa Luxemburg, but just say something. Say something. You never know who might be impacted by it. Even me, I have no followers, I have no friends, and I literally post a lot on Instagram, and I had a couple of random strangers say wow, thanks for posting this. I'm wow, I made an impact in someone's life. I had a DM of someone that had the similar issues that I had, and it was DMing me for help. I'm over here helpless, girl. Why are you asking me for help? And I don't know if it was a bot. I don't know if it was a real person. But the fact is, like, even if it wasn't, like, it opened my mind that, like, we can all make a change in the world, even if we think we're very small. And yeah, I want to make a change in the world despite how small I am. You know, so like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and yep, see you guys soon.